Hey everyone, I'm Pion and welcome to How to Play Siberian Dawn. Siberian Dawn is a single-player deck-building game, and the goal of every match is to complete a mission. Every mission consists of multiple objectives, and you can see your current objective in the lower left corner of the screen. In this case, it's called Kill Hostiles, and the objective is to kill 4 hostile units. So let me show you how to do that. Before the match starts, you have to unlock one of your strategic sites. Your strategic sites are basically, you have 4 of them, and they're basically part of the 4 battle lanes of the game. So there are enemy strategic sites and allied strategic sites. Every site can take up to 1 unit. Opposing units will fight each other. And you can unlock one for free at the beginning of the game, but the other ones you have to unlock with resources during the game. So just choose one, it doesn't matter which one you pick, just take any and unlock it, and the match will start. Every turn starts with the event phase. In the event phase, 2 things happen. The first one is that a number of units, of enemy units, will activate, which means they start flashing to indicate to you that they will do something later during the turn, during the hostile phase. Right now it's just an indicator. The number of units that activate is based on the threat level, which is this little indicator down here. It starts on 1, so 1 unit activates. When it goes up to 2 by various triggers, then 2 units will activate per turn, which is more dangerous because they will attack you. The other thing that happens during the event phase is that you draw on a random event. In this case, it's called All Systems Normal, which means nothing happens. So we just skip through the event phase and go to the more important resource phase. The game is a deck building game, but you not only have 1 deck, you have 2 decks. The first deck is the resource deck, which works like any deck in any regular deck building game ever. You start with 10 cards, 10 very shitty cards, that is. You draw cards at the beginning of your turn, you discard all your cards at the end of your turn, you put new cards you acquired on your discard pile, and when your deck runs empty, you reshuffle your discard pile and becomes your new deck. So far, so good. Let's take a look at your starting cards. You have two different cards at the beginning. You have logistics cards. Or logistics 1 cards to be precise, and they have a very basic action. So there are multiple actions for cards, and the basic action is the drop action, which is just play the card, gain an effect. In this case, the effect is to gain 1 command point, which is one of the 2 resources in the game. So I can drop the card to gain 1 command. The UI is a little unintuitive. Basically, what you have to do is you select a card or a slot or whatever, and then you have to select an action in these 6 slots here. In this case, I'm going to select drop. And then you have to confirm the action with the big button down here. So select the card, select the action, confirm. So I dropped the card, got 1 credit for it. Cool. Let's do that again. And with the 3rd logistics card as well. Now we have 3 credits, not credits, commands, sorry. And well, let's put them to use. You can do various different things with command points. You can deploy units. You can play tactics on those units. You can unlock strategic sites. And you can buy cards, but only a very limited number of cards, because most of the cards are bought with credits, which is the other resource, union credits. But a few cards are bought with commands. So let's do exactly that. Let's take a look at the market. So when no card is selected during the resource phase, then it will these 6 slots down here will show the market. The market is separated in 4 categories: logistics, investments, units, and tactics. And we're going to take a look at the units market, which is separated into different categories: union units and guild units. And if you choose the union units, we can buy things for commands, because the union units are the only cards available for commands. All the other cards will be purchased with credits. Usually you have 4 different units available here, but this is the training mission, which is a little bit dumbed down. So we only have the basic unit available, the grunt. Usually you have the grunt available and 3 random units, and if you purchase one of the random units, it will be replaced by a different one. But if you purchase the grunt, you will get another grunt. So this is the basic unit that is always available to you for purchase. It costs 3 command points, as it shows over here, and I'm going to buy one by selecting the grunt and then confirming the action with the buy button down here. So let's do that. The grunt goes to my discard pile, and my command points are gone. Okay, let's take a look at the other card. The other card is the investment 1 card. And it has 2 actions. The first action is to drop it for 1 union credit, and that would give me 1 credit over here to my credit counter. And the other action is to bank it. Banking allows you to carry credits over to future turns, because all resources you don't spend at the end of your turn will be discarded and go to waste. So banking them will allow you to use them in future turns. However, you can only bank 1 card per turn. So I'm gonna bank one of those investment cards. and that will increase my bank account by 1 credit, or put 1 credit on my bank account. And now I could drop the other one for 1 credit, but I'm not gonna be able to buy anything for 1 credit, so I'm gonna do something else, which is I'm gonna burn the card. Burning gets rid of the card permanently. It's not going to my discard pile, it just gets destroyed. And that is usually a good action to get rid of your basic cards, because they're not very strong and you want to replace them by better ones. However, there's a limitation to that. You can only burn cards as long as you have at least 11 cards in your deck total. I just bought a grunt, so I have 11, so I can burn one. But you can, yeah, and that's not only true for burning, that's true for every action that takes cards out of your deck. For example, deploying a unit is also restricted to only be available when you have at least 11 cards. Basically, you always have to have at least 10 cards in your deck, or you cannot, in your resource deck that is, or you cannot reduce it further. And so yeah, let's do that. Let's burn the investments 1 card and get rid of it, and then enter resource phase. Now we go to the tactics phase. In the tactics phase, the other deck is used, which is the tactics deck. It also starts with 10 cards, but it works a little different. It doesn't have a discard pile. Basically, you draw cards from the tactics deck at the beginning of the tactics phase, and you discard them at the end, but they will just get reshuffled into the deck. So you just get random cards every turn. There's no discard pile, no order, nothing like that. You just get random cards from the deck every time, every tactics phase. Tactics are being used on deployed units. We don't have a deployed unit yet, so we're not going to do anything. So let's skip the tactics phase and go to the hostile phase. In the hostile phase, all the activated units will try to act. Trying to act means they will draw an action card, and if that action card, and will try to use that action card. So this is the action card. This is the unit that triggered it. The unit will be flipped over when it is not, if it didn't do that yet. So if the unit is hidden yet, it will flip over the first time it activates, which it did here. This is the V-Bot Mark 1, which is a very basic unit because this is the training mission. And it drew an action card, which is this hostile action class D. The class of the action is very important because every action has a class, and every enemy unit has different attacks for different classes. So the V-Bot Mark 1 has an A attack of strength 1 and a D attack of strength 4. So what happens now is that the strength, if the action class matches one of the attacks, then the unit will attack. If it doesn't, so if this would be a C or a B, the action would fail and nothing would happen. But in this case, it matches, so the V-Bot Mark 1 attacks, and what happens now is that this is a little weird. I'm not sure. This is not it. What should happen is that it adds the strength of the card to the strength of the attack, which would be 5. For some reason, it shows 4 here, and that happens quite some time. I did read through the manual multiple times. I can't explain why sometimes it adds it and sometimes it doesn't. I might be missing something here, or it's a bug, but I'm pretty sure I'm missing something. I'm not sure what it is, but basically, the higher this number, the more dangerous, and the higher this number, the more dangerous, obviously. In this case, for some reason, it doesn't add up, or there's another -1 for some reason. I'm not sure where that would come from, though, but yeah, I don't know. In total, it says 4 right now. This would go against my unit's defense if I would have one. I don't have one, so no defense is applied. So the result is, there's also no bonus, so the result is 4. Okay, this would be 4 damage, or the attack has 4 strength right now to attack. And now the fate mechanics comes into play. Fate is 4 different mini decks, basically. There's a Fate 1, Fate 2, Fate 3, and the Fate 4 deck. You can't see the Fate 1 right now because it's not available for this action. It's based on the action, basically, which fates you can pick, or from which Fate decks you can pick, draw a card. Every Fate deck consists of numbers only. So the Fate 1 deck consists of the numbers 1, 0, and -1. The Fate 2 deck consists of the numbers 2, 1, 0, -1, and -2. And Fate 3 and 4 consist also of 3 and -3, and -4 and 4, respectively. So this is basically a random element in the game, where you have some control over it. So the attack has a strength of 4 right now, and I'm gonna apply a fate, or add the result of the fate pick. So I pick one of the fate decks, draw a card from it, reveal the number, and it will be added or subtracted from the result. So if I draw the -4 here from the Fate 4 deck, this would reduce the attack to 0 and negate it completely. So that's what I'm gonna try. The chances are very low that it works out, but it doesn't really matter otherwise, so I'm just gonna try doing that. So I'm gonna draw a card from the Fate 4 deck by selecting the 4 here and pressing the Fate button down here. I draw the 2, which increases the attack to 6 actually, and the attack is victorious. However, it doesn't really matter how much damage it deals because there's no unit here. It just succeeds, which means it will cost me 1 glory, which is the resource down here, which I'm gonna talk about later, and 1 vitae, which is your life, basically your health points. One in this case because the unit is rank 1, so I will lose 1 vitae when I get attacked on an undefended side, and you always lose 1 glory when that happens as well. So yeah, that happened. Now the hostile phase is over, and now the end phase is a little bit cleanup and stuff like that. It reminds you of your objective, and things happen, and basically you go to the next phase. So that's really bad. Okay, I just got an event from the next event phase, which is threat grows, which increases the threat level by 1, which is not nice at all. That's one of the worst events in the game, and that increased my threat level to 2, which means now 2 units will activate this turn, which is not great. Okay, let's try to deal with that. Resource phase comes here up, next one. So now we have a similar situation than earlier. We have logistic cards and investment cards, and we can do things with them. So I could drop the logistics cards. It also will only give me 2 command points, and I'm not going to do anything with 2 command points. So that's not going to be of any use. I should have probably kept one of the cards to burn them, actually. That was a mistake, should not have dropped them, my bad. I could spend a glory. So glory is used for various things. You saw it goes down when you get hit by an enemy on an undefended side. If it drops to 0, your rank will drop, which is really bad. I'm gonna talk about rank in a moment. But, well, actually, let's talk now about rank. So rank determines multiple things. The main thing it does is the rank determines how many cards you draw during your resource and your tactics phase. So that's really important because more cards is more resources or more tactics available, which is obviously a good thing. You increase your rank by unlocking strategic sites, which you do by unlocking them with command points. The first one, or the second one rather, costs 6 command points, the third one costs 7, and the fourth one costs 8 command points to unlock. And when you unlock them, you increase your rank by 1. However, you can also decrease it by losing glory. When your glory counter drops to 0, then it will reset to 5, I think, and your rank will drop by 1. As long as it is higher than 5. When it is 5 and your glory drops to 0, you lose life, basically, which is not great. And you also lose you lock your strategic sites as well, which is also really bad. So you don't want to lose all your glory. That's really, really dangerous. So this is important. However, you can spend glory, so you can use 1 glory. I could press this button to gain 1 extra command point. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm only on 4 glory anyway, and I don't want to buy another grunt for 3 command points. So I'm not gonna do that. But that's the thing I could do. What I should have done, as I said, is to keep the logistics card in my hand, buy another card, and then burn one of them. Well, too late for that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use all my investment cards and the 1 credit from my bank to buy a better card. So you could drop them, as I did before, but there's also this convenient hand action, which just drops all your cards, basically. So that dropped all my investment cards, gave me 3 credits, and I'm gonna press this button to gain the credit from my bank account. Now I have 4, and now I can buy something. And I think I'm gonna buy a better investment card. So you can buy logistic cards from level 1 to 4 from the logistics market. The same goes for investment cards from the investment market. You saw units before, there are union units and there are guild units, which work similar to the union units, but they are bought with credits. And then there are tactic cards, which you can buy as well. So for the moment, let's buy another investment card. I have 4 credits, so I can buy an investment 2 card, which gives 2 credits, which is obviously way better than an investment 1 card. So let's do exactly that, and then end the resource phase. There we go. So tactics phase, I'm not going to do anything because I didn't deploy a unit yet. So we go to the hostile phase and take 2 hits probably, which is really, really bad. So this is an example of an action failing. The hostile action is of class C, and the V-Board Mark 1 doesn't have a C attack, class C attack, so it doesn't do anything. So that's good. Let's take a look at the other one. It's a Mark 4 board and a class B action, which he doesn't have, so that fails as well. So I got a little lucky there. That's good. Let's end the turn and get to the next turn. Let's see if we get a better event this time. Okay, hostiles healed. I don't care for that because they weren't injured yet, so I don't care. Still, the threat level is on 2, which means 2 attacks per turn, which is pretty terrible at this point in the game. But, well, yeah. Okay, so, okay, now it gets a little bit more interesting because now I draw my unit, my grunt. So I'm gonna deploy this unit now. So deploying a unit costs command points. It costs as many command points as the unit has rank. So the grunt is rank 2, so it costs me 2 command points to deploy the unit. So I'm gonna drop 2 logistics cards, and I'm gonna select the grunt, and I'm gonna deploy it in the slot by selecting deploy here, and then deploy. Deploying, as I said earlier, only available if you have at least 11 cards in your deck. So it was probably good it was probably good in the end that I didn't burn a card last turn, because I'm not gonna be able to purchase anything this turn. Actually, I could have purchased something, but yeah, but it would have been it would be a basic card, so that would not have really helped. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna bank the investment 2 card, which is cool because that means I get 2 credits to my bank account, and I can drop the last. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna drop the last logistics card, and you're gonna see why in a moment. So I'm gonna get a command point, which I don't gonna use now, but maybe in the tactics phase. So let's go to the tactics phase. We now have a unit available, a deployed one, that is, and now we can play tactics on it. Tactics have a rank as well. All your starting tactics have a rank of 1, and they cost that many command points to play. There's, for example, the withdraw action, which basically undeploys the unit and puts it back to a discard pile. Then there is the light and the basic attack, which are attack actions, and I didn't draw any of, well, I can show you the other ones over here. Wait, where's the button? I think if you press here, switch to tactics stack. So there's a cover, for example, which increases your unit's defense by 1. So basically there are 2 different kinds of tactics. There are status tactics, which give your unit a status. Only 1 status can be available. For example, cover, +1 defense, or focus, +1 attack range, and +1 influence conflict. I'm not going to explain that right now, but basically, yeah, it buffs your unit. So status buffs your unit. And the other kind of tactics are the attack tactics, which also have a tactics class, and the units have a class attack. Or attack class, and I'm gonna play one of my attacks, the liked 1 attack on this grunt, or I'm gonna try. Oh, I can't. God damn it, that's too bad. Okay, here another mechanic comes into play. So let's go over the stats on the unit really quick. So we have a rank. That's true for the enemy units as well, basically. There's not alliance. What's it called? Forgot what it's called, but it's not that important right now. That's just some faction stuff, basically, which has mechanical effects, but I don't want to explain every detail in this video. There's lots of mechanics, lots of rules. I just want to give a basic overview so you can actually play the game. Then there is rank, health, defense, and range. So most of them are pretty obvious. What does range do? Basically, you add the range of the 2 units opposed to each other, because that's the range to the front line. So this unit is what the grunt is 1 unit away from the front line, and the V-Bot Mark 4 is 2 units away from the front line. So in total, that makes 3 units distance between the 2. So if you want to attack, you have to at least have a range of 3. However, the light attack and also the basic attack only have a range of 2, so I can't actually attack the V-Bot Mark 4 with those attacks right now, because yeah, my range is too short, so I can't actually do that, which is unfortunate. Which means I'm not gonna actually spend my command point because I don't want to withdraw the unit, and I didn't draw a cover or focus, which is very unfortunate. But that means we just end the command phase and hope for the best in the hostile phase. So let's see. This one attacks successfully. However, only with an A-class attack, so it only has a strength of 1. Again, for some reason it doesn't add it here, but it definitely does this from time to time. So, for example, I had a C attack earlier on a Mark 4 board, which resulted in a strength of 4. So sometimes it adds it, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure. Again, I'm gonna draw a fate card. and he's on 1. So let's just wait. We got a positive card from the fate. So oh yeah, that's important, by the way. I didn't explain that earlier. So when you draw a card from a fate deck, it will not get reshuffled. It will be put on below the deck, or I mean, it's basically a discard pile there. I'm gonna let's explain that right now. So basically, the manual says it goes below the stack. So they keep their order, but they will be reshuffled as soon as you draw the 0. So basically they go on a discard pile, and as soon as you draw the 0, they will be reshuffled. It's the same. So you will not see any repeating cards until you see the 0 of every deck. So strategic advice would be take a pen and a paper, put it next to you on your desk, write down which cards you draw from the fate decks so far, and make decisions based on that. So far we got a 2 from the Fate 4 deck, which means it's a little bit more likely to draw a negative card from here, and the negative card would disable this attack. So let's draw from the Fate 4 deck. Got the -3, that's good. Action failed. Okay, cool. So also the V-Bot Mark 4 attacks, and it's also on Result 1. It doesn't really matter which one I pick, I think. Actually, yeah, those two should be same. These have a little lower chance of getting a negative card. Doesn't really matter which one of those two I pick, so let's just go with this one. That's the 0, so that reshuffles the deck. Unfortunately, it doesn't reduce his strength, so he successfully attacks me, which cost me 1 glory and 2 life points because he has rank of 2, which is very unfortunate. Also, what happens in the end phase, I didn't mention that earlier to not confuse you too much, but let's talk about it now, is the flanks get influence. So every flank gets 1 point of influence for every unit in that flank. So 2 enemy units means on the left flank means the left flank gains 2 influence for the enemy, and 2 on the right will also give him 2 influence here. I only have 1 unit here, so that gave me 1 influence here, and the other points of influence were from earlier turns. Basically, if you have more than 10 points of influence, then your units gain a +1 bonus. Or for every 10 points of influence you have, that units gain +1 bonus on their actions. And the influence will push against each other. So you will push back the enemy influence if you meet in the middle, and he will push yours. And if your influence goes below 0, or would go below 0 rather, then you lose life points instead again. Which is, yeah, if your life drops to 0, you lose. If that wasn't obvious. So that's another way of losing life points, which is, yeah. Okay, so much for that. Let's end the turn, and yeah, I want to do one successful attack, I think, and then we can actually wrap it up, because I think I explained most of the mechanics at least, which should get you through a game. So I have 2 logisticas. I'm definitely going to drop both of them, so I'm going to be able to do something with my Grant this turn. So I have lots of credits, which is nice. Let's bank one of them and drop the other 2. Actually, that doesn't matter. What I want to do is I want to get 4 credits here and 1 in the bank. And now I'm going to buy another card. This time I'm going to buy a logistics card. Rank 2, so let's do that. And now I'm going to end the resource phase, go to tactics phase, and attempt to attack again. What, damn it. Where are my focus cards? I really need a focus card to increase the range of the grunt. I don't draw them, which is unfortunate, because that means I can't attack. What I can do, however, this time at least, is to put him in cover. So let's play the cover tactic on him, which increases his defense by 1, which will hopefully make him survive the attack of the Mark 4 bot. As I mentioned earlier, you can only have 1 active effect, so I could not play another cover on him, for example. Or I could, but I would replace the first one, so that doesn't do anything. So let's just end it here and hope for the best. Okay, his action failed. No, his action fails. Okay, that's good. Oh yeah, by the way, if your unit, like, okay, so if well, maybe we see it. If we don't see it, in the next turn I will explain it. What happens when enemies attack you successfully. So another attack here. Let's try to negate that. I got lucky there. Good for me. Next turn. What's the event? All systems normal. Okay, good. Resource phase. Okay, we're not gonna get an attack here, but whatever. Okay, we got a good amount of credits. A really good amount of credits, actually. Can buy something neat with that. So let's get 6 credits and buy another logistics card. Yeah, let's get a logistics 3. Why not? And yeah, like I'm gonna drop the logistics here to try to set up an attack. I'm not sure, it might be better to burn it actually, but for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna go with that and go to the tactics phase. And I should have bought the other unit actually to show you that one. Well, I'm gonna talk about that in a moment. So I don't draw my focus. This is fucking great. I can't do shit here right now. Okay, well, whatever. Let's end the turn. Gain an attack here. Draw. Okay, now that's a successful attack. And another one. Oh, goddammit. That's really bad. My glory is down to 1, which is very, very dangerous. Okay, so next turn. We get a random event, influence fluctuation. So the hostile influence will be shifted on the left flank, and it's a fate pick again. So fate is not only used for attacks but also for events and some other things. So I'm gonna just I didn't pay attention to what I draw so far, so I'm just gonna pick a random one. Hope that it's good. Okay, it's a 0, so nothing happens. It would have influenced it changed his influence on the left flank. So negative numbers would have been good. Okay, that's lots of commands. Yeah, let's definitely burn one. I think you can only burn 1 card per turn as well. Not 1% sure. Let's actually drop that. Let's actually try that. We just burn those. Buy another grunt. And yeah, you can only burn 1 card per turn. Well, 1 card from each deck. You can burn 1 resource and 1 tactic card. So let's go to 2 command points, go to the tactics phase and hope that I draw focus. There we go. Okay, focus increases attack range by 1, which allows me to attack the V-board hopefully next turn. Well, actually this turn. Never mind, this turn. Okay, good. Now I'm in range because my range is increased thanks to the focus. So now I have enough range to attack the V-board. So I'm going to choose my attack card here, the basic 1 attack, which is an A-class attack, which is okay because the Grunt has an A-class action as well. And I'm going to play that for 1 command point. And now it will be an attack of strength 1. The problem is the enemy has a defense of 4, which is kind of hard to overcome. There are 2 things now that can help me. First, there's another fate pick, so I can just hope for +3 here, which would at least get me to 0. It's a 0 though, so that doesn't happen, which is unfortunate. Now we're at -3. There's another thing I can do now, or I could do, I'm not gonna do that, is I could add support cards to the attack. There's a support limit. It's based on the unit's rank, so level 2 or rank 2 unit can take up to 2 support cards. And to use a support card, basically you can take a card, you can pay 1 command point to drop or discard one of your tactic cards, and the unit gains 1 point if the faction matches. So here's a star here, this card has a star, so I could spend 1 command point to discard this card to gain +1 on the attack. That would not be useful because I would still be at -2, and it will also cost me a command point I don't have, and I don't want to spend my last glory to do that. So that would be really bad, right? So let's not do that, let's press done instead, and the action fails. Okay, but that would have been the way to attack this guy. He only has 1 health. As soon as you overcome his big defense once, he's done. So that's good as well. So let's see if he attacks successfully. He successfully attacks the Grunt. He does. Okay, well maybe depends on the pick now. So the same thing happens here, right? His strength, the strength of his attack is deducted from. Oh wait, this is this one. Never mind. This is the one on the right. But they activate in random order, so it shows you. It shows, like, you can see it by the arrow here which one is activated. So let's just. Wow. Okay, that's not good. That drops my glory to 0, which decreases my in the end phase decreases my rank to 4. Okay, this one actually doesn't circumvent my defense so far. So now the same thing happens when I attacked. He gets his strength. My defense is deducted and subtracted, and he results at -1. And now fate applies. He doesn't have support cards though, so fate applies now. Let's just go with this. Well, that was unlucky. He killed my unit. Okay, if your unit dies, you don't lose life points, but you lose glory. Equals to the rank of the unit you just lost. So I would lose 2 more glories. I was a 0 already though, so nothing bad happens, I guess. And now the end phase will result in my glory dropping to, well, being on 0, dropping my rank to 4, which it can't do because it can't go lower than 5. Instead, it will reduce my life points by 5, I think. And it also will lock my strategic sites. I'm in a terrible position right now. The game is not easy. I also got pretty unlucky in this match so far, though. So let me show you one more thing, and then let's wrap this up because I think I explained the mechanics well enough. So okay, units take cover. I don't care for that right now. Let's just drop all the resources to gain some stuff. So okay, first of all, let me show you how to unlock a strategic site. So I can spend 1 more glory to gain 5 command points, and that will allow me to unlock the strategic site. So I do that, the site is unlocked. If that would be the second one, my rank would go up to 6, which would be great, but it doesn't right now because I just lost the site. Now I'm going to show you the other units you can buy for credits. It works the same as the union unit market. So you have 1 basic unit, 3 random unit markets not available in the training mission. So we only have the scribe available, which is the basic unit. It costs 4 credits, so I can't buy it right now. But it's not a deployable unit. So these units usually, I think all the guild units only have actions, while all the union units are being deployed to fight. So these are basically action cards for your hand. They're not actually fighting units. They have multiple actions. So they have the scribe, for example, has a draw action, which also always applies as soon as you draw it. So as soon as you draw it, you gain 1 command, which is really useful. And then also has a drop action, which gives you 1 glory, which is also quite nice. And then it has an act action. Acting is a little bit different to dropping. Dropping doesn't cost you anything. You just drop the card, you gain the effect. Acting also drops the card, but it costs you command points equals to the rank of the card. So 3 command points will buy me 3 glory here, which can be useful if your glory runs low, obviously. So that's how these cards work, and there are multiples with different effects. Some can heal you, some do different things. There's one that allows you to bank more cards. I think there's also one that allows you to burn more cards, stuff like that. So those are the special ability cards basically in this game. And I think that's all the basics down. That's not all mechanics, not even close to. Like, there are more mechanics, like you might have noticed this sword is not being used in the training run. There's more stuff down here. It's called a bond, which has various effects if you play a regular mission. There's many small details everywhere. Like, the game is full of mechanics. I'm not gonna cover all of that here. I just want to give you the ability to get through the training run on your own. And yeah, so I hope I did that with this video. I hope it was helpful, and yeah, the link to the game is in the description below if you're interested to look at it yourself. If you liked the video, feel free to press the like button, or maybe even subscribe to the channel. Tutorials are usually not, like, I sometimes do tutorials, but my main content is first impression and a little bit more in-depth videos about interesting games I find. So if you want to check that out, feel free to subscribe to the channel or click on the channel to find more videos. And yeah, that's it from me. The game is called Siberian Dawn. It's actually not released yet. It's going to release on the 20th of September. And as I said, the link is in the description below if you're interested in it. I am TH Pion. Thanks a lot for watching. Have fun and see you next time.